Hi, this is Emma from Living in Perfect Harmony and the co-founder of Twin Flame Infinity. So I felt guided to come on and make a video today about the importance of healing and also learning about spirituality. So I've just finished, or I'm just about to finish, writing my book, Twin Flame Infinity, and it's a story about me and my twin and how we met and the sexual abuse that we went through, incest, and being part of a paedophile ring as well for much of our younger life. Um, when obviously we weren't together, like living, we didn't live in the same place, but we were getting brought together. This will all be explained in the book anyway if you want to buy it, and I will be posting it as soon as it's finished, which hopefully will be tomorrow. But yeah, we were getting brought together by our families basically, and that was when we got to see each other. um we had rituals done on us and things like that, so we ended up having a lot of memory loss, and we didn't see each other for about 4 years. And then when we did see each other, I was 14 and he was 17, and we met in the street one day. This is all in the book, but I'll just go over the basics. We met in the street one day, and it was love at first sight. And he was like, I used to say to him, it's like you're the boy version of me, because we were so alike and stuff. But because our memories of the abuse had been repressed, and because of the rituals we'd been given and the voodoo drug they were giving us, it blocked a lot of our memories, and we actually didn't get them back until this year, after doing the healing. So we went into union, getting to the point now. We went into union when we were 14 and 17, but we weren't fully healed from the past. We didn't know too much about spirituality. We were getting downloads and things, but because we still had an ego there, and we still needed to go through that ego death, and we also needed to learn how spirituality works and the fact that all this is real, because you get told a lot that it's all imagination and things, and yes, you do need an imagination, but it's not in the sense that you get told, as in it's not fake, it is real. So we didn't know all this. We were together about 6 months. Everything was going great, but then we got triggered and fear set in. And that kind of brought about a lot of, even though we didn't remember what had happened to us, we still had all those emotions there. We still had those negative thought patterns and stuff like that that comes from it. And it was only actually after these repressed memories came back that we could associate those things with it and so heal it. So we got triggered, like I said. And also, when you're awakening as well, you're on what's called the rainbow bridge. So we're going from 3D to 5D, but in between there is the 4D, which is known as the rainbow bridge. So we were on that rainbow bridge, we were getting into union, everything was going great, but these attachments and the negative things in the 3D want to pull you back down. They don't want you in 5D. And they certainly don't want you if you're a twin. They do not want you with your twin, because you're serving the higher good then, which is, it's the end for all them basically. The more of us that wake up, the more of us that come into union, all this elite paedophile ring, the badness that's going on, the homelessness, all this will end. And they know that, so they're running scared. And they put a lot of programs out there, fear-based things on TV. There's a lot of red flags, like shootings and things like that. It's all fear-based. Well, in the spirit realm, there are also people like that called energy attachments, or negative entities as well, and they kind of cling on to us especially when we're not healed, because there's holes in our aura. So we're like a puppet really, and they keep control of us. So when you haven't healed, these things can pull you back down. When you don't understand what's happening, these things are able to pull you back down. And when you get triggered, you go into self-sabotage and you can pull yourself right back down. So that is what happened with me and my twin. And it meant that although we were nearly there and we were all almost awake, fully awake, these things managed to get hold of us because we were triggered, because we were taken apart from each other. So it meant that fear came, fear of abandonment came, the fear of, did we love each other that much? Were we going to hurt each other? These things come out of nowhere because they put thought forms in your head as well. So you start thinking these things, and even they might not be your thoughts, but they've been put there, and because they're in your head and you're not aware of this yet, you kind of take these things on board as real. So it meant that although we were born awake and we were born knowing what our mission was, which is explained in the book, it meant that by the time we got to that point, because of all the trauma that had already occurred and because of how we felt, it allowed that to take over. So I ended up then, we had to go into a series of lessons then. This is what happens. If you don't learn your lesson and you don't wake up and do the things you need to do to heal, then you'll end up staying in a negative cycle until you start learning the lessons and realizing the mistakes that you're making. And that's quite a hard one to deal with, but actually it is all down to us, and we don't realise it at the time because of fear and stuff, and we feel trapped, we feel like we have no choice, but actually we always have a choice. We have free will and we have free choice. So I eventually, I ended up in a narcissistic relationship, and I was with him for 13 or so years. And it meant that I was apart from my twin. And the whole time I was apart from him, I missed him every day. I hated it. I felt like I was in some sort of alternative universe, and it was just horrible. And then I had to contend with a narcissistic as well. I'd already dealt with that because my mum and my stepdad were narcissistic too, so I ended up falling back into that pattern, and my adult life, the first half of it anyway, was spent with someone like that. I eventually went into the dark night of the soul. I found spirituality. I learned all the techniques. I learned how to heal myself. My twin, as soon as I went into the dark night of the soul, within a year, my twin was back in my life. But we hadn't done the healing, so it did take a long time for us to get into union because we still didn't really understand the process that this all takes. And I will do more videos on this in my Twin Flame Infinity group, and we'll also be doing videos together. And I've also got guidance in the book as well if you want to read the book. But we had to learn how a twin flame relationship works, because it's not the same as other relationships. If you have issues, you need to learn to communicate with your twin. You can't go and talk to a family member or a friend because they don't understand, and anything negative they start saying throws a load of negative energy into the connection, which causes resistance. So it's like two magnets getting put together. It pushes away. So you need to clear out that energy, and I do energy sessions if you would like one. I also do healing sessions for individuals as well as twins. So you have to learn to clear that baggage. You have to learn to heal everything that happened, and then you also have to learn how a twin flame relationship works and the things you need to do. So that's what we did, and eventually I'm 38 now. Now, I could have woke up at 14, I could have healed all this, I could have been living my purpose years ago, But because I wasn't fully aware and I let fear and doubt take over, which wasn't my fault, I'm not putting blame on me, but because that happened, it meant I fell into a cycle of lessons until I learnt those lessons, and until I learnt to love myself, and until I learnt my self-worth. That's what carried on. So now I am in harmonious union with my twin. We are right at the beginning. We've had to leave England because of what we found out and the kind of people that were involved, because this paedophile ring goes quite high up, and I won't go into too much detail right now, but it goes pretty high. So we decided the best thing for us was to leave and make a new life for ourselves, and we are in Southeast Asia right now, and it's not easy by any means. It's a struggle, but we're getting there. We are serving our purpose like we should be. We are in harmonious union despite everything we've been through, and we're healing and we've put in the work. So this is what I wanted to share with you. The longer you put off your healing, the longer you stay in those negative cycles. So even if you are still with a narcissistic parent or husband, try and ignore as best you can what they say. Focus on self-love, focus on knowing what your worth is, and focus on healing at least the past damage till you get up to where you are now. And as soon as you do that, you will find the strength, you will find a way to be able to leave and get out of that relationship, and life will then change for the better. You might have to start at the beginning like we have. We're in a room here. We're trying to build up our finances and things like that. But I would rather be here than living the life we had before. We're still happy with what we have. We're grateful for what we have. And that is what you need in your life. You need to find gratitude for the things that you do like, and practice learning to love yourself. Rid all those negative thoughts that come in your head, the beating yourself up and things like that. These are all programs that have been put there by bad, nasty people, and they're not true. They're just programs that are in your brain. It takes 3 weeks for a thought to become a belief. So if you start telling yourself positive things about your life, like you are beautiful, you are kind, you are worthy of being loved, this kind of thing, it eventually all steps into place, lines up into place, and you will start feeling better about yourself. It will clear the way then for you to see a path out of the situation you are in. And believe me, there is always a way out. Even if you think right now you have no way out, you might be sitting there crying, you might think it's the end of the world. I promise you, it is not the end of the world. 7 years ago, I was so low. I thought I wasn't even worthy enough or capable enough to kill myself. That's how low I was. I was lower than suicide, And now I'm here with my twin flame. I'm in union with my twin flame. We have 3 gorgeous children together. We live in Southeast Asia, and everything is just starting to go up. And we are seeing the changes, and you will see them too. So if you want to have a look on my website, livinginperfectharmony.net, I have packages in there from high-end to the lower ones. I've got a course running at the moment that you can book. That's all available on the website. We also have twinflameinfinity.com. So if you're a twin flame and you want help with your union, then go on that website and you can book healing sessions there, and also energy clearing. So it clears away all that negative energy that's causing resistance between your relationship. There's also, the book will be out this week at some point. Hopefully it will be tomorrow, but if not, it will be at some point this week. There's guidance in there on your journey. So I will be putting up free content as well about mirroring. I don't know if you've heard about that, if you're a twin flame, how we mirror each other, and that's a factor in our relationship. We have the runner chaser phase and how to navigate that. So if you just want to go on the website, either one, depending on what you need, and you can book a session with me. So that was the story I wanted to share with you today. I hope you're all well. Love and light. Namaste.